PJ Maloney at QEX. News at this half hour. Too early to say. Traffic backed up on the parkways and at the tunnels. Weather check. Daybreak brings brighter skies, warmer temperatures, more in a half an hour. PJ Maloney at QEX. Traffic's backed up on the parkway and at the tunnels. Weather warmer as the day goes on. News at this hour. More of the same. More news in 1/2 hour. Time around 9 o'clock. Time to get the lead out. PJ Maloney at QEX. News this half hour. We're still working on it. Traffic clearing on the parkway and the tunnels. Weather looks like a warming trend over the past hour. Time check. Check watch. Oh, time's right around 9:30 now for exercise. PJ Maloney at QEX. News this hour. Same as last time. Weather warmer this afternoon, colder tonight. Time check. Oh, time's right around 10 o'clock. More news later on this public TV station. PJ Maloney at QEX. News this half hour. Same old, same old. Weather outside. Could be worse. Weather inside. Very nice. Time check. Still ticking. Now, time to go to class. PJ Maloney at QEX. News this hour. As good as can be expected. Weather check. Time right around 11 o'clock. More timely information in 1/2 hour. PJ Maloney at QEX. News this half hour. Nothing to write home about. Weather not bad if we lived in Bradford. Time check. Oh, time right around 11:30. Time to think about lunch, huh? Now here's Aging Assist. PJ Maloney at QEX. News at the top of the hour. There's a general work slowdown downtown as people go to lunch. Weather check sunny and 85. Just kidding. Time check right around high noon. Your day's half shot. Get it in gear, will ya? Now here's job news.
Tom Downing at QEX. News at the half hour. Work slowdown continues with people out to lunch. Weather, plenty of it outside. Time check about 12:30 in Pittsburgh with a high of 12:33 in Dormont. Fox Chapel lagging behind with a low of 12:28. More news on the hour. Tom Downing at QEX. News at the hour. Work activity increases downtown as people return from lunch. Weather, color radar confirms that we have some. Time, it marches on. More in 1/2 hour. Now, the Frugal Gourmet. Tom Downing at QEX. Weather check about the same as last time you saw it, so why belabor the point? At the sound of the collision, it's in the neighborhood of 130. Speaking of neighborhoods, here's Mr. Rogers. Tom Downing at QEX. News on the hour. You wouldn't believe it if we told you. Weather check, well, it could always be better. At the sound of the spare, it's right around 2 o'clock. More news you can use in 1/2 hour. Sesame Street's next. Tom Downing at QEX. Weather check. Inside, same as always. Outside, cooler than in here. Time check. Right around 3 o'clock. More news in 1/2 hour. Tom Downing at QEX. News at 1/2 the hour. Weather check. Colder and darker heading into the evening. Time check. 3:30. Give or take a minute. Time to cook. Tom Downing at QEX. News at this hour, nothing you haven't heard before. Traffic backing up in the parkway and at the tunnels. Weather, oxygen levels remain steady. At the sound of the chickens, it'll be somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 o'clock. More in 1/2 hour. Tom Downing at QEX. News at the moment, SOS. Traffic backing up on the parkway and at the tunnels. Weather check, colder and darker tonight, warmer and lighter tomorrow morning. More news in 1/2 hour. Tom Downing at QEX. News at this hour. Bus stops downtown filled with commuters waiting to go home. Traffic backing up on the parkway and at the tunnels. Weather check. Increasing cold and darkness throughout the evening. It's around 5 o'clock. More news in 1/2 hour. Tom Downing at QEX. News this half hour. Downtown empties out as commuters head home. Pockets of resistance line up at area watering holes and traffic still backed up at the parkway. Weather check, a darkness trend developing over the next few hours. More news in 30 minutes. Now, the golden years.
PJ Maloney at QEX News on the hour. Darkness descends upon the area first in Greensburg, then heading west through Monroeville, Churchill, East Liberty, The Hill, Emsworth, and finally Sewickley. Time check. Dinner's on. More startling revelations in 1/2 hour. Now here's Aging Assist. PJ Maloney at QEX News this half hour. Scores of businesses downtown closed for the night, but many restaurants and taverns remain open. Weather darker and colder tonight, warmer tomorrow as it gets lighter. More at the top of the hour. Now here's the doctor. PJ Maloney at QEX News just moments ago. A little man appeared to me in a vision with the winning lottery numbers, but the windows are closed now, so forget it. Weather, who cares? I lost millions. Time check, who cares? More in a half an hour if anybody cares. PJ Maloney at QEX. Nothing to report now, but remember, no news is good news. You should live so long. Weather check, colder tonight, so wear a hat for crying out loud. Time check, time to write to your mother if you can remember her address. More guilt in 1 hour. Now, the EastEnders. PJ Maloney at QEX News at this hour. You mean you still need news after reading the paper and watching the other stations? What's wrong with you? Get a life. Time check, 8 o'clock or thereabouts. Don't sit in front of the tube all evening. Go read a book. PJ Maloney at QEX News at the half hour. Not much of anything. Did you notice how the news at the half hour isn't nearly as exciting as the news on the hour? Time check. That's right around 8:30, but you know, I need to take this thing in for repair anyway, so you know. PJ Maloney at QEX News on the hour. This just in. A flight out of Greater Pittsburgh International Airport bound for New York. 135 passengers aboard. Actually took off on time tonight. Time check. Well, it's 9 o'clock. Still moving forward. More news you can use in a half an hour. PJ Maloney at QEX. Weather inside, it's reasonable. Weather outside, colder and breezier. Time check. That's 9:30, give or take a few minutes. Hey, what do I look like, Joe Timex? It's in the ballpark, huh? PJ Maloney at QEX News on the hour. Wait a minute and watch the news at 10. Weather check, could be better, could be worse. More news you can use in a half an hour. Remember, if it's news to us. PJ Maloney at QEX News at this half hour. Well, I'm sure there's a lot happening out there, but since we're just a speck of dust in the universe, is it really all that important? Not really. Just learn to stop and smell the roses. Now, QEX scores and Mike Riley. PJ Maloney at QEX News at this hour. Satellite trucks are setting up all over the city. To feed us news from nowhere in particular. Weather, darkness holding steady. More safety tips you can use, plus weather at 11:30. Now for the EastEnders. PJ Maloney at QEX News at this half hour. Well, nice things don't happen at this time of night, so if there is news, I'd rather not know about it. Weather? What do you care? You're going to bed. Time check in the general vicinity of 11:30. Time does fly when you're having fun, huh? Time for comedy.